training camp doesn't really start until you put the pads on and have a fully padded practice, even though the league kind of nerfs padded practices in the amount of contact NFL teams are doing. This is the closest you're going to get to actual football being played on a training camp field. And on a day where we're fully dressed and ready to go, our quarterback has his best day of camp so far. Let's talk about it. What it do, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Ramblin' with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about our Washington Commanders. Once again, it is Monday, July 28th, fourth day of practice, first day of padded practice for the Washington Commanders. Per usual, practice is moved up to 8 a.m. So by the time it gets to about 10 a.m., practice has already completed. It's hot, it's humid, it's miserable. And I believe today was one of the chosen season ticket holder days there. So probably significantly lesser crowd, nice and intimate setting for the season ticket holders. They probably got to sit under the tents, the air-conditioned tents and stuff they got going on. And per JP Finley, Ben Standick, and a lot of Washington's media, Jaden Daniels had his sharpest day of training camp. And per my boy, boots on the ground, Jalen Morgan of Bleeding BNG, make sure y'all are subbed up to his content and his ex as well, because he's going to give you some good insight on what he saw, and he knows ball. So he's someone you definitely want to listen to. But apparently there was an emphasis on Jaden throwing across the middle today, because, you know, that's what they told us coming into the league was one of his weaknesses. He doesn't throw the ball across the middle, even though we saw him stretch the field across the middle a lot last year. You know, we're just slowly checking boxes off the what Jaden can and can't do list. No, we're checking boxes on the what Jaden can do list, because what he can't do, there's not many things on there at all. And I saw Jaden yesterday. The secondary looked good, but we're going to talk about yesterday's practice in just a second. There's not much about today, but I'm going to give you everything that I've seen so far. A lot of veteran rest days today. Von Miller again, Laramie Tunzel, Marshawn Lattimore, Zach Ertz, and Cleveland Farrell got a veteran rest day. I'm not sure why Cleveland Farrell's getting a veteran rest day, but he is one of the vocal leaders of the locker room, so I guess I feel like Cleveland need the work, man. Cleveland needs the work. We need guys. We need these depth guys being able to get to the quarterback. You know, veteran rest days are part of the program. It's a part of the reason why guys love and respect Dan Quinn and everything about that guy. Dan Quinn had me fired the fuck up yesterday. You watched my vlog. He addressed the fans and opened up practice on the microphone. Very, very inspiring guy. He made me feel like I wanted to suit up out there with the team yesterday, but bunch of veteran rest days. Jaden, beautiful throws to Ben Sinnott, Deebo Samuel with a nice whip route touchdown and red zone work. I love to hear Ben Sinnott being targeted, because I was looking for him a lot yesterday. It is a huge year for Ben Sinnott. If he ascends this year, another pick proven right by Adam Peters, and that gives us another threat catching the ball at tight end, and we need somebody to take over that position when old man Ertz decides to hang up the gloves. But offense, better showing than the last couple days of practice, and despite the defensive line winning in the trenches. I love to hear the words defensive line winning in the trenches. With Tunzel on a veteran rest day, Josh Connerly Jr. has stepped into the starting one of the tackle roles with Andrew Wiley. Terry McLaurin's back out there another day. I believe the same thing as yesterday. Showed up at the end of practice. Buddy Baker, his agent, in attendance, and they got a brief little section of him talking to the media where he just pretty much repeated the words, "We're taking it day by day." This is him on the field with, is this his agent? Yeah, this is agent Buddy Baker. You know, signing autographs again. He had a moment with a small child. Shout out to this kid.
Got it. 17.
I appreciate it.
All day, my man. All day, 17.
With my hat?
Oh, he gave him the hat. That's beautiful, man.
Got it.
Wow.
Nice to meet you.
What a guy, man. What a guy. Terry's giving out hats to small children and shit, politicking, kissing babies and whatnot. Let's see what he had.
We just taking it day by day.
Terry, how much closer are you to working out a deal?
We just taking it day by day.
Being here in the building, though, how does that improve the dialogue?
Just taking it day by day.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. For those who don't understand what those words mean, I'm just here so I don't get fined, y'all. I'm here so I don't get fined. He gave him the exact same words in sequence, back to back. That means that him and his agent, they are stuck where they're at, and the team is stuck where they're at. It is a stalemate. Nothing to see here, but we are glad to see Terry in attendance, loving on the fan base and being loved on back. Kumbaya vibes, man. Get the deal done. Get the deal done, guys. I'm not going to rush you anymore. Y'all get it done at some point, but I do want to see him out there. I know I keep trying to put this hard stop on getting it done before we get ready to gear up for these Patriots joint practices, but something inside of me just wants us to just make the Patriots look foolish. I want to outclass these motherfuckers at these joint practices next week. I want to outclass them. We play them in a preseason game on the 8th. I don't give a shit how we look in the preseason game. I want to outclass them during joint practices because I know that's where more effort is going to be exerted. A joint practice is the closest thing to game speed of the regular season that we're going to get all off season. So I want 17 out there, man. And when I was out there yesterday, you could definitely see that his presence is missed. But here's some footage of Josh Connerly going through his individual work with the tackles there. There's not too much to say. Every day you've heard Mikey Sandra still's name, and you've heard Noah Igbenogany per my guy Jalen, JP, and a couple other people today. Oh, my guy Felix Tremel. Noah Igbenogany's been having a great camp. He's trying to make me look foolish for calling out him wearing single digits all the time. So Noah Igbenogany also having a very strong camp. Mikey Sandra still is having the camp of camps on the defensive side of the ball. This is good. I want to get all the positive defensive things out of the way. Apparently, Tyler Owens would have taken Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's head off. They had a nice loud thud, but you're not taking guys to the ground at this point of training camp, and they try not to have you blowing your teammates up too much. But Tyler Owens was coming downhill, just like Noah Igbenogany and Mikey Sandra still. Tyler Owens, another one of your cast of characters we're hearing that's flashing on a regular basis, a guy with that athletic profile who plays with his hair on fire. You find any and every way to get that motherfucker on the field on Sunday. So I'm excited. I want to keep hearing that he's healthy. Health is the most important thing. As long as we're getting through these practices with good health, nothing else really matters. I mean, yes, obviously things matter, but this is practice. We're not talking about the game. We're talking about practice. Word to Virginia legend Allen Iverson. But there's not too much to go off of about today's practice. Dan Quinn mentioned kick returners in his press conference earlier, and he said Deebo's back there with Eckler. Told y'all Deebo's got some work at kick returner before. They're not about to put no out of shape person back at kick returner. So for all the fat boy jokes, y'all need to cut that shit out, by the way, because Deebo looks phenomenal. Deebo met with the press after practice. I wouldn't know what he said in full jest because the team didn't live stream Deebo's media availability for whatever reason. I saw one question though, and he said, I pulled up to camp yesterday and I saw Washington fans lined up like it was game day. And that got him fired up. And that's the type of thing you come to work hoping to see. It's the type of thing that lights a fire under a player. But you're not going to see too much more because for whatever reason, we're not getting detailed, in-depth analysis on what's happening in practice. But the pads are on. The quarterback looks sharp as hell, laser focused in all of the team drills. And we love to hear that, man. I don't take for granted a quarterback that plays well mostly every day at practice, because we've seen so many trash can quarterbacks come through here who can't throw on air, who can't throw in a walkthrough, and are missing receivers with no defense on the field. So Jaden just continuously checking the boxes. During his Sports Center interview after practice yesterday, when he was on set with Jay Harris and Hannah Storm, he mentioned that, and he was talking about his mindset and his mentality, how he's doing everything in his power because he wants to become a perfect quarterback. I don't know if a perfect quarterback exists, but if there's a guy that's going to achieve it, it's a guy like him. That guy's a worker. He does not run from the grind, and he just does he checks all the this is the quarterback we've dreamt about for a long time. We've dreamt about having a guy like this for quite some time. And here we are in 2025 with a guy that just checks all the boxes on and off the field. Very excited. Just his whole aura. When he walks out, the crowd goes crazy. You know when you got a superstar quarterback. You know, because we ain't never had anything like it for so long. And I love to hear that Jaden and Deebo have quite the rapport. In red zone work, he's looking for Deebo early and often, and especially with 17 not being on the field right now. We miss you, 17. We need you out there sometime soon. If I get anything more about today's practice, I promise you I will let y'all know. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt apparently was blocking well. He was studying. He was getting his hands on full. He runs so naturally. This is the part of the video where we rewind and I talk about my experience at practice yesterday, because there's not much of shit that they told us about this padded practice, because they get in and out. With practice being moved up to 8, they get in and out of there, bro. About 75, 80 minutes, practice is finito. They get in and out of them drills. They move with haste in between their drills. No one's walking. No one's slouching or slogging up. They're jogging around. They're getting shit done. Go see the fans. We're out of here. So, very business-like environment. Let's talk about my experience at practice yesterday, man. I had a great time. My son had a great time. Laramie Tunsil was one of the first things that stood out to me, because him and Javon Kinlaw are two of the biggest fucking Bamas I've ever seen in my life. Javon Kinlaw, easily one of the biggest humans I've ever seen. They're massive, just a massive unit. I think Jalen said Javon Kinlaw looks like if a deep freezer was a person, and that shit had me dying. They're very large behemoth men. Yesterday, with no pads on, so take this for what it was. Laramie Tunsil was having an on-field veteran rest day yesterday. He was looking a little slouchy out of his stance. Veterans hate training camp, so I'm not going to sit here and penalize him for it, but I'm going to objectively critique him. A lot of the guys, their energy wasn't where it needed to be, but the practice overall was good. The defense was getting in their ass yesterday. I watched Jacob Martin, and I couldn't tell the number the next time, and like a 3-play stanza beat the shit out of Laramie Tunsil off the edge. But it's okay, though. I know. These are practice reps. They're in their first week. They just put on pads today. But Jacob Martin flying naked off the edge around Laramie Tunsil was giving me Kayvon Thibodeau on Charles Leno vibe, but it's practice, guys. Don't panic over these things. I'm just pointing out and making observations of what I see. On that interception that we saw yesterday, Jaden Daniels threw to Mikey Sandra, still trying to hit Jaylen Lane. That play probably results in a sack, but Jaden heaved that shit down there. Jaden's not going to be making decisions like that on Sunday afternoon. Like, he shouldn't have thrown that, but when you throw it in practice. When you turn the ball over in practice. Don't worry about these weird aggregating casual newfound fans that like to count practice stats, because that's stupid. We got to stop that shit. We got to stop. This quarterback was 14 of 19 for 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Like, we're not doing that on practices. But gone are those days over here. But Mikey Sandra still, he's sticking like glue to everyone he's lining up with. He's all over the field. You can tell the difference it makes him being at his natural spot on the inside, as well as he played for us on the outside, especially in the divisional round of the playoffs and versus A.J. Brown the first time we played the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Mikey Sandra Stills 5'8" ass needs to be in the slot. It's where he was when Nick Saban called him the best pound-for-pound player in the 2024 NFL draft. It's where he could come like a blitz demon and sack quarterback and add extra pressure because we got to manufacture pressures on this defense this year. Mikey flies all over the field. His energy is infectious, and his relationship with the quarterback, it's beautiful. You see Jaden hold this baby after practice. As soon as it's time to celebrate, like on the Jaylen Lane catch over Mikey, where he got his lick back at the end of practice, where Mikey's coming to tap the out-of-bounds line, and Jaden's there arguing with him, and they're hugging, and they're jumping around. The energy, the morale, and the atmosphere at camp is electric. The structure of camp, it looks nice. It makes sense. They're actually putting to use the little bit of space they have available to them at Ortho Virginia Training Center at Commanders Park. You're going to see a different layout than you're used to seeing at training camp there. But there are less areas where you can crowd the main gate for players to come out. Like, unless you're the earliest people at practice that show up at the facility, you're not going to have a spot where you can hug the gate to talk to the media, the players, and follow them when they come out. It's not the same layout as before, man. I guess these are the things that come with having a successful grown man ran operation. And we love that for us. We love that for us. More observations. Carlin Vigors, the undrafted free agent that we have, he shows up a lot in coverage. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball. Deebo is the primary focus at wide receiver with Terry out, and Deebo looks great. He looks spry. I don't know how he's out there running around in the long sleeve. No, I know how. I used to play football, man. For whatever reason, bro, you don't really feel it as much until you take the helmet off until the end of practice. So long sleeves, I feel it. Deebo looks good. He looks decisive. He looks fast with the ball in his hands. I love to see him get some of them kick return reps. Him and Jaden have chemistry already, and that's the plus side of Terry not being in the building, even though, Rio, there's no plus side. Yes, there's a plus side, because at the end of the day, we're still got to talk football, and we still got to talk about the players that are out there with the team, as well as the players that are not currently out there with the team. And speaking of those players, Sam Cosmi, he looks good. He looks like he's in great shape. He's been working on the side field and stuff. I was taking my trek around the park in between drills yesterday. It just felt really good being back out there. Oh, the new team president's cool as hell. Mark Klaus was out there riling the fans up. He don't got the greatest arm in the world. My boy Jaylen said he got a corporate arm if you watch my vlog. He was throwing out T-shirts and rally towels to fans. He was hyping the guys up. Fred Smoot gave him like a WWE-style intro to the fans. All good vibes out there. The Santana Moss announcement came while we were there. There was no preparation for that. It just feels like they're doing things right. AP was at practice today. Adam Peters was out there. I didn't see AP yesterday, but I'm glad to know that fans acted accordingly. You know, he doesn't need the Secret Service to show up to watching his team that he runs the football operation for at practice. He didn't get the Jason Garrett treatment. That's good to hear. Jason Garrett, I believe he's on NBC, Fox, or ESPN. He's on one. He's got to be ESPN because there was hella ESPN cameras and media people there yesterday. Jason Garrett made one round around the practice field, and our fans let him have it. He's not a current coach or quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. He's a former quarterback and coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and they booed him until he disappeared. They booed him into fucking oblivion. Shout out to our fans being in midseason form. They already want no parts of a Cowboy, a former Cowboy, or anyone associated with a Dallas Cowboy. Shout out to Jason Garrett, though, man. Jason Garrett's good at his job, and I actually like Jason Garrett, the analyst, a lot more than I like Jason Garrett, the football player or the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt looks like a running back. I know that sounds like a stupid blanket-ass statement. He has acceleration, deceleration skills I haven't seen here in a minute. He moves left to right, laterally, very smoothly. I'm not saying he's the fastest running back in the league, but he gets after it. He gets after it with the ball in his hand, and he runs with intent. He knows where he's going, and he knows where the holes are at. And I think he's going to be the only one in the running back room that can create. And speaking of the running back room, I'm going to give Brian Keith his respect. Shout out to B-Rob. B-Rob looks, I tweeted this, so y'all got on me. Y'all hit me with the AOs. Like, yo, Rio, you can't say that. I said B-Rob looks lean and bouncy. Maybe that's crazy verbiage, but he looks lean as shit. He looks lean. This is when guys look their leanest, you know. He looks lean. He looks spry. And he looks decisive with the ball in his hand. We know B-Rob in September is a different person than B-Rob in January or December. But B-Rob looks great. We saw a run yesterday where B-Rob created with vision and acceleration and was headed up the right sideline. He looked really good. And me and Jaylen both looked at each other like we clutched our pearls a little bit like, well, damn, was that 8? Was that a single digit I just seen do that? Oh, shit. Shout out to B-Rob, man. He looks good. Contract year. The entire fan base breathing down your neck. It's time to get it done because regardless of who we want starting or who we want in place, Brian Robinson is the starting running back for this team, and he's going to get the lion's share of the carries. And I want him to run 4,000 yards this year. I know he's never ran for 8 in a season, but he's been damn close a couple times. A 1,000-yard running back would do wonders for this offense and take so much pressure off of Jaden. Jaden already has to do most of the heavy lifting for this football team. Running the football should not have to be one of those things he has to do as much. He has to run the ball. One of Jaden's superpowers is his ability in the open field as a runner. But I don't want him having to run for 900 yards this year. I don't want him leading my team in rushing. So whether it's B-Rob, whether it's a combination of B-Rob, Eckler, and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, I need them to hold it the fuck. I need them to stay healthy. I need them to hold it the fuck down because I know 5 put on some muscle this year. I need to limit the amount of times a player on the other team can put their hands on him. So that's my take. Oh, Demetric Felton, that dude's electric as well. I don't know if he makes the team. I guess if there's a 4th running back kept, I would like to see a guy like him over a guy like Chris Rodriguez. But I know the fan base loves him. Don't shoot me over that opinion, guys. Ben Sinnott, they're definitely trying to get him more active in the pass game. Offensive line-wise, I really didn't pay much attention to Connerly yesterday. I'm not going to lie to you, but he moves well. He's big as hell, too. He looks like a child in the face. I know you see it on camera and stuff. When you see him with his helmet off close up, he definitely looks like he's about my son's age and he's about to enter high school with my boy. Marshawn's moving very well. Marshawn definitely looks leaner in person. I'm trying to think what else was like when you're in it. Like if you would have asked me as soon as practice ended yesterday, I would have gave you 1,001. Oh, Jaylen Lane and Ja'Cory Brooks. There we go. The wide receiver room other than the main guy. And we'll talk about Luke a little bit too. Ja'Cory Brooks dropped like 3 passes in one drill. And on one of the drops, he looked so fucking devastated and disappointed in himself. He kind of did the thing where you put your hands up in front of your face mask, like you're embarrassed type thing. Because the most unfortunate part about those drops, they weren't on the far side of the field where he could have dropped them bitches in silence. Them shits happened right in front of the 2 sections of bleachers where fans were sitting. So them shit, you got a bunch of ooh, ah, come on, 1-6, catch the ball. You got all of that at one time, bro. He couldn't just ass it up in silence real quick. I am not deterred by those drops, but concentration drops have been a thing for him in camp so far on multiple days and apparently in college as well. Maybe Ja'Cory Brooks is a gamer. Maybe he's one of those guys that shows up when the lights are the brightest. Maybe the joint practices in the preseason games are going to give us a better idea of what Ja'Cory Brooks is as he's trying to make that last and final wide receiver spot there. Moving to Jaylen Lane. Jaylen Lane is the fastest fucking player I've seen at Commanders camp in a very long time. Definitely since the name change. I'm trying to think of who the last player I've seen here that fast. He might be the fastest player we've had here since Brandon Banks. He's fast as shit, yo. Jaylen said he's too fast that his arms can't catch up to the rest of his body. Like his arms and his legs aren't in sync yet. Like he's still trying to figure out how to be that fast. But he is fast as hell. He's fast with the ball in his hands. He's fast without the ball in his hands. 83 is electric. And I know he didn't get his foot down at the end of that beautiful catch yesterday, but who the hell cares? That was gorgeous. That was phenomenal. A1 God tier ball placement by Jaden Daniels and a phenomenal finish by Jaylen Lane. Just get the second foot down because we can't sell on a beauty such as that in a real game. He looks good. I know, I think it was Mikey. Mikey clamped him up a couple times when they ran into their matchups together, but Jaylen Lane looks good, man. Jaylen Lane looks good. I think the plan is Luke to start in the slot or until proven otherwise. Luke looks like Luke. He looks like a player that is going to look sharp in practice. Like he runs his route very precisely. He catches the ball when it's thrown to him and he pops open sometimes. He just doesn't really do anything that makes you say, he doesn't do anything to give you like reassurance and like overwhelming confidence. He looks like Luke. He looks like Luke. I need to see it on Sundays with Luke. There's nothing he's going to do in practice that's going to make me say, oh, that leap is coming. That leap is coming this year. We're going to have to see it on Sunday afternoons. Michael Gallup, don't have much to report from there. Don't have much to report for. He's out there. I would like to see where he fits into the rotation when we get in these joint practices coming up as well. That's pretty much most of my observation. And Jaden is just, even on, like, Jaden had a couple off plays. He still was sharp. Don't get it twisted. This guy never just asses it up at practice. He never just starts spraying the ball around. He just threw that shit up for grabs on that Mikey interception. But don't get it twisted. Jaden looks good, man. Everything looks effortless. Everything looks easy to him, even when he's rolling out and launching it 44 yards up the left sideline. Everything looks easy. Everything looks fluid, and everything looks superstar-like, man. And he just carries this gravitas. He just carries this infectious energy and coolness and calmness. His mother was walking around in the Super Bowl era threads, the throwback Jaden white jersey on that should be available via pre-order on the team site starting in September. That's about all that I've got for right now, guys. Padded practice number 1. I believe they only have one more practice this week, which is tomorrow. And I believe they get some rest days as they gear up for a trip to Foxborough for joint practice and preseason game number 1 next week. There is NFL football on your TV this Thursday, July 31st, for the NFL Hall of Fame game between the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Chargers. I might have to do a watch party for it because why not? Why the fuck not? It's football. It's preseason, but it's still football, and we're dying for what the hell else do we have to watch right now? So watch party definitely in the cards. I'm going to be doing a lot more watch parties this year too. We might do it for the whole primetime slate unless I have somewhere to be. But that is all I got right now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and giving me your opinions, even if they're right, wrong, and different or very different from mine. I appreciate all the dialogue in the comments and in the chat. Me and Lake are going to do a live at some point this week. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Thank you for 19,000 subscribers. Now let's get to 20, 25, 30, and to the moon. Talk soon. Commander Rio, out.